Hello and welcome back to the ranged only challenge. We're going to be heading into a very small fight here because the Southern Empire has once again declared war against us, which I am actually very pleased about. I don't know why I'm charging. I don't know why I'm charging. It's probably just a habit from the last day's playthrough, because obviously when you charge with a bunch of horse archers and indeed cavalry, then you're going to have a pretty easy time with things. But yeah, this is obviously ranged only. So we have a lot of archers and not much else. I mean, I do have a couple of Imperials. Ah, yeah, that's because my ally is actually using Imperial units. So that's the reason for them. So let me just try and get my units into a decent enough position. This is one of those really cool maps, in my opinion. I feel like this map is really nice. I only have 12... What? Why do I have so many infantry on the battlefield right now? Why do I have so many... Oh, yeah, it's because I'm actually just leveling up a bunch more people still. Yeah, that's obviously what's happening here. But yeah, once the because the Southern Empire has now declared war, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna swap out a bunch of my bunch of the infantry, and I'm basically just going to return to using only archers, and that's it. I'm actually only going to be using archers from now on, at least as long as I can field an army that is actually capable of dealing damage, or at least posing a significant threat to the enemy vassals. Because if I don't have any kind of threat generation, then I might as well not even bother, you know? There's just no point in that case, you know? Because if I'm running around with an army of, like, what, 30 people, everyone's just going to absolutely bully me to the ends of the earth, and it's just not going to be a very fun experience for anyone involved. You, me, you know, my great-aunt, you know, any of them are not going to have a very fun time. So that is obviously something that needs to, you know, be looked at a little bit. But thankfully, these guys are relatively easy to deal with, as you can see. No problem at all here. And maybe I'm going to be able to get a couple of decent long-range-ish kills. Yes, he says, as he completely misses everyone. I mean, that is to be expected, though, obviously. These guys are pretty far away. And it's been a while since I've actually used a bow in Bannerlord. Here we go. There we go. Nice. That was some good damage and good experience as a result of that too. We literally only lost one person, which I really don't have a big problem about. And there we go. We actually helped this guy out. I don't really care about the prisoners so much. I do care about the loot though, so I will be taking as much of that as I can get my hands on. And now we can just level up more of these people. Bear in mind that I'm just going to be leveling up people as and when they level up, because I am going to be extremely close to my garrison relatively soon. And I'll be placing all of those in there. And then I'll be taking out all of my Aserai Master Archers, as many of them as I can, and then I will just keep a couple of people that need to level up. So, for example, skirmishers, maybe some other people as well. And you can see here that Sylvina, yeah, I guess we will. Yeah, I guess we'll do this. I was a little bit worried about it, to be honest. Okay, I do need to put some more money in here. As you can see, I have a bunch of construction projects that are currently being built. This one is going to be done in 6 days, which is actually fantastic. My loyalty here is actually not even that bad, as you can see. I mean, obviously the problem is the culture. I personally don't think that this should even be a thing, to be honest, because just because you pick some random culture at the start, I don't think you should get penalized so heavily for that with the loyalty of the town. I know that they're trying to make it so that the rebels have some cause to be able to, you know, actually rise up and try to take back their town and things like that, but I'm not actually an enemy. I'm actually a vassal of the Aserai, and it just so happens that I am a different culture from them. So I think that's a little bit, maybe a little bit xenophobic. I'm not sure. I feel like it's kind of sad, because I'm taking pretty good care of the town, or at least I think so. You can see here that their food is absolutely fantastic. Their security is actually going quite nicely too. And, you know, generally I'm building it up and making it into the best possible town it can be. But unfortunately, they don't see it that way. So yeah, we're having a bit of a problem there. But anyway, let's just place a bunch of recruits in there. The Aserai youth can level up and then go away. There we are. We need to take this guy away. And I think what we're going to do now is I'm basically just going to... Wait a minute, where am I? Where are my master archers? Wait a minute. I think... Alright, don't panic. Don't panic. I am panicking, but don't panic. It's alright. I think I placed them in this garrison. Yes, I did. I am an imbecile. Why did I do that? That was actually really, really bad of me because I did not remember that I had done that. So that was awful. That was actually really bad. But thankfully, we now located them. And that's all that we really needed. So there we go. Okay, that's fantastic. So let's go and try and attack Constallia here while we have the opportunity to do so. Yes. Yeah, there we go. Get her. All right, so we are now basically 100% with the exception of like, what, 10 tribesmen? Infantry! I have, what? Why do I have so many? Oh, it's because the skirmishers are counted as infantry, but they should be counted as archers. Oh, well, that's actually not even a big deal because obviously infantry... especially ones that can use thrown weapons, they're going to be pretty good in the front for the most part, so we're just going to do that. And we're just going to leave them in line formation, I feel. I think that leaving them in line formation is okay, so let's just put these guys in a loose formation. I always find that loose formation for archers is great. But yeah, anyway, there you go. Okay, whew, I was a little bit worried there. I had a bit of a panic because I thought to myself, where have I put them? Did someone else take them out? I was kind of worried about that, basically. But thankfully not. I'm almost at 250 bow skill, by the way, so I'm hopeful that if I am able to get any kills here, which I think I should be able to. I'm doing so much damage, but just not getting any kills right now, because every single person has 100 HP by default, which I think is maybe a little bit too much for the recruits, specifically, but oh well, never mind. Nothing I can do about that. Let's see if I can... Yeah, there we go. I'm almost at 200 bows. Almost. Oh, they are just getting absolutely massacred right now. And there are my archers over there. Going to move the skirmishers a little bit further down, and the archers as well. Make sure that they are repositioned in the best possible location. And there we have it. 200 bow skill is ours, which is exactly what I wanted. Oh, well, they still haven't Ah, hello there. Never mind, you're dead now. That was actually a wonderful headshot. If I do say so myself. Let me just pat myself on the back. There we go. Alright, so there we are. That is fantastic. Zero casualties at all. And I am going to be taking her prisoner. Basically, what I want to do is I want to try and force the Southern Empire into either being as weak as possible so that my own forces, so that the vassals from the Azerai can do a fantastic job of capturing as much territory as possible, or to force them into a peace agreement so that we might be able to do something about the Khuzait, because the Khuzait are becoming extremely strong. I am not a big fan of that at all. I would very much like to try and weaken them in some way, but I have no idea how to really go about that at the moment, because we are constantly involved in some kind of conflict with the Southern Empire. So let's see what we can do. Anyway, this is obviously going to be the first time that we're actually going into a battle without any other vassal, or at least one of the first times, especially with a ranged-only composition. So we'll see how that goes. Bear in mind as well, by the way, that obviously in the most updated version of Bannerlord, the skirmishers are changed into light archers, or at least that's what I've heard. And if that remains the case, when I actually finally get around to updating, because obviously at the moment I don't really want to update because there is no stable branch of the 1.5.10 version But then, yeah, so then obviously I would like to make sure that it is stable before I do that, because if I don't, then there's going to be constant updates. I might have some problems with the save game and so on and so forth. So generally, I just like to be a bit cautious about those kinds of things. I've done it in the past where I've updated a series as the game is updating, and it has always resulted in some weird things that I need to end up fixing, or maybe can't even fix in the end anyway. So I don't really want that to happen here. Here we go. Okay, now this is... Oh, whoa, this is deadly. This is deadly for them. I personally don't understand why they're even continuing to charge toward us, to be honest, at this point. Alright, so how is it actually going so far? It doesn't seem to actually be going that well. It seems like the enemy has met our forces in battle. We've lost 9 units so far. I've got to say, I'm actually kind of surprised by that. But do bear in mind that the Azurai Master Archers are not actually noble units. So that's something to take into account almost immediately. Because obviously, I didn't want to do Archer only and do Battanians, because I feel like Battanians are just... I mean, quite clearly they are extremely powerful, and I didn't want to do that because I feel like that is too strong, and it's just going to imbalance the entire series. I mean, we've done that before, actually, with the Battanian Smith. I have had a number of units from the Battanian Noble line, and they were extremely strong, and basically, at a certain point, no one could stand up before us. Oh, he died! Look at that! He actually died on the battlefield. That's fantastic. That is perfect. These are the kinds of situations we want. That is really, really good. Alright, so I'm pleased about that. So there we go. Okay, so he's done. Now let's go and... yeah, this is actually my settlement, so we definitely need to stop her from doing anything here. Okay, so this is obviously going straight on into another battle straight away after the previous one, and it is giving our forces a very, very limited amount of time to regenerate their health. So I'm a bit worried about that, to be honest, but let's just see what happens. This is an absolutely perfect situation to be in, though. I feel like this might be okay. Let's put our infantry into a loose formation. I'm actually wondering whether that's going to be somewhat good. Let's try it out. Okay, we're going to need to do something about these archers right here. We can't have them just charging straight on in because obviously, as you can see, the enemy is already upon us, actually super, super fast. I need to be very careful. Imperials are actually kind of good at ranged combat, so I do need to be wary of that. Thankfully, my Master Archers are already here, and my skirmishers are doing a pretty fantastic job of eliminating the Imperial recruits. Yeah. Really wish I had a faster firing bow, or really wish I was just better with the bow, to be honest. I feel like I don't have enough damage per second. There we go, nice. Okay, this is going alright, this is going alright. Okay, let's move my forces over here. Let's put them in... Oh, they are in a loose formation. They're actually looking a bit weird right now. They don't seem to be too loose right now here. Alright. Whew. Okay, so that's actually not too bad, not too bad. And we lost 5. Alright, we lost 5 so far, which is not awful. Although we are fighting against people that have a significant combat strength disadvantage. So I'm a little bit worried about that, to be honest, because if we actually go up against someone that has a good combat strength, or a combat strength that is relatively similar to ours, then it's going to rely on tactics and strategy much more. And my tactics at the moment, they're a little bit slow, I think, because my people are too slow to get into a formation that can actually give us an overwhelming victory. And that is what we need. We need to have multiple battles where we are taking 0 casualties for us to truly be considered a decent ranged commander, at least in my opinion, because usually when you're using ranged only, you really want to have very minimal casualties. I mean, yeah, we're taking, very, very minimal casualties right now, like 5, okay, that's absolutely fine. But in my opinion, we should be taking 2 or less, 1 or less. That's pretty much it. I'm kind of a little bit in two minds about that. Because while we are taking minimal casualties, and I always say, hey, that's actually not even a big deal. It's not a big deal to lose this amount, because it's war. War, these things happen and so on. But in the grand scheme of things, as a ranged-only army, I shouldn't be losing that many, to be honest. Okay, so let's have a look here. Increases your mount armor by 20%. Mounted troops in your formation gain 10 mount armor. And also increases your stagger damage threshold by 50% while mounted. Okay, I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I'd like Tough Steed. 20% in additional mount armor should be quite good. Ranged troops in your formation getting 10% of the total experience after battles. In my opinion, that is the only one to go for. Bullseye, thank you very much for 200 bow skill. And what else do we have here? Okay, yeah, so Steward, some of these are not yet implemented. So, companion wages and recruitment fees are reduced by 25%, or troop wages are reduced by 25% while in an army. I think we'll probably take the army one, even though I'm not in an army at the moment. I might very well be a little bit later on. Alright. So we've leveled everyone up. I'm at 53% HP. I'm a bit worried about this, but we are going to be heading into the village to try and rescue it. I do not want it to be raided. And I think what we're going to do is I'm going to take an extremely defensive position. So we're going to have people round about here. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to do this and then wait for them to come to me, because they are the ones that want to raid the village, so they are the ones that will have to take the first strike, or at least I can hope that to be the case. Now, I have no idea whether the AI takes into account foliage or anything like that, because obviously they're AI, so they're more than likely going to be able to see through this. But I'm hopeful that maybe some of our people will be a little bit concealed by the bushes here. And we'll see whether they can maybe get the drop on some people and maybe do some surprise damage. But it's highly unlikely because, again, they are AI. Okay, let's see if I can maybe do some damage. Oh, nice! There we go. Can I get some more? Now, this is the kind of situation that you really want. I mean, obviously, we are fighting against mostly recruits right now, which is, of course, kind of easy. However, this is the kind of situation that I'm talking about, and the reason why I think I'm playing my ranged-only army a bit too aggressively. I'm going too close to the opponent, making it too easy for them to get into melee range with my forces, and I think that's the main problem. So I think in general, I'm going to need to work on that. I just really like to, get stuck in there, and I like to, be the aggressor sometimes. And playing defensively, while it is effective, as you can quite clearly tell, it may not be the most exciting thing if the AI decides to play defensive as well. Oh, are you serious? Really? Are you... Yes. That was actually really, really close right there. But there you go. We gained a little bit of relation with the village. And as you can see, we lost 0. That's exactly how we should play this, because look at that. 7.4 renown. We absolutely dominated in that particular battle. And that's what we want to see almost every single time. Because while that does make it easy, the efficiency of fighting that way is, in my opinion, way too much to pass up, isn't it? I mean, that's the funny thing. I'm kind of in a bit of a weird position here. Because on the one hand, I have people saying to me that the ranged-only challenge is too easy. And then on the other hand, I have people saying, you're not using enough strategy, you're not using enough tactics, and you're losing too many units, and so on and so forth. And so, well, what do you want? Do you want me to use good strategy, or do you want me to lose a bunch of units? Do you want me to literally, like, do you want me to lose, like, half my army? I mean, is that easy enough? I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where you just can't win, you know. You can't win with people in general, which is fine. That's not a problem. I don't have a problem in general. I'm just saying that it's a rather amusing dichotomy between the two points of view. And I would say that playing ranged only, especially against an army that is actually decent, and yeah, okay, it's definitely going to be way too easy for me to defeat this army that we're fighting just now, because these guys have 65 recruits, which of course is going to be pretty simple, you know. I mean, that's what you'd expect. You would expect these guys to be relatively easy to defeat because they have lower tier units than us, and that's it. That's all it comes down to at the end of the day. Obviously, you do have the whole rock paper scissors thing, where, of course, you have the whole, like, you know, infantry, or, you know, if they have a polearm, that is, are usually good against cavalry. Archers are usually good against infantry, and cavalry is usually good against archers, and so on. So that's usually how it goes. Obviously, that is not always the case, because sometimes archers are really, really good against cavalry as well, dependent on the type of cavalry, of course, because if the cavalry has a shield or something like that, and they all charge at the same time in a coordinated assault, then your archers are going to sustain massive damage. But in this case, just look at what's happening right now. These guys cannot do anything, and they have to cross a river as well, so they also have a tactical, strategical disadvantage almost immediately, just because they have to cross the river and they have no cavalry to speak of. So that's it. That's the end of the fight, and that's it. Yeah, sure, okay, that's definitely very easy. However, imagine this. Imagine Dishonoratus actually had an army full of Imperial cavalry, and I'm talking about tier 4, tier 5, maybe even tier 6 units. Is it that easy then? No, because I think we'd probably lose. I think we would probably lose at that point. So it's kind of a bit of a tightrope that I'm walking at the moment, because on the one hand, there are vassals out there that are very, very strong and could easily defeat us if they wanted to, or if they caught us out of position. But on the other hand, you've got these guys who are quite clearly not ready for the big time, so to speak. So yeah, there's also that. Anyway, Xena is apparently attempting to be a warrior princess and attempt to take the castle here. Not a big fan of that. I would appreciate it if she would stay, you know, doing her thing, slaying the monsters of the realm. I don't know anything about the TV show, so I'm just quoting random things from it. I have no idea. But yes, otherwise, let's have a look. Okay, 99 troops. I'm actually wondering if there's going to be an army that will appear. Come on. Oh, wait a minute. Xena, please just return to being a princess and not a warrior, because I don't want you to slaughter me. She would easily do that. Okay, wait a minute. Here we go. So she didn't manage to take it. Wow, really? Lavinia Castle is apparently extremely easy to defend, because they lost basically no units. That's kind of interesting. Okay, well, Marinia Castle is being taken, as you can see right there. I'm actually wondering what the army size was like over there. Now, that's the thing. I feel like if the time is right, or if the timing is right, I might actually be capable of taking on a much larger party than myself. And I am a little bit antsy to do that. Let's have a look at this guy. Okay, so he's got some slightly stronger units. Look at that. There's an army over there. Need to be very careful. Okay, he's going off in the other direction. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, so this is probably going to be the strongest army that we're going to fight so far. Especially as ranged only. So let's see what we can do. Okay. They're starting over there. Okay, yeah. I guess what we can do is we can just take up a sort of standard location on the other side of the riverbank here, but this is really not the other side, if you see what I mean. Usually, if the AI is smart, then they'll just go all the way around along our right side over here. They'll just go along here, and then that will be super easy for them. But because they're AI, they're probably just going to go straight, and that might be kind of easy for us then. Alright, here we go. You know what I really want to do? I want to assassinate the enemy leader. If I can do that, then I think we'll have an overwhelming advantage. I'm not sure which one it is though, because there are 2 cavalry units, actually 3 cavalry units on the battlefield. Now, that's an Imperial Heavy Horseman. I don't really have to bust my gut to try and kill this guy. But it would be kind of good to take him down, I guess. I mean, why not? You know, if it's a free kill, then it's a free kill. That guy died really funnily. Alright. He's not dead, though. He's just knocked unconscious, but still. Where's the enemy leader? Because this is certainly not the enemy leader as far as I can tell. No, it isn't. Oh, that's very strange. It must be that she is knocked unconscious. It seems like that is indeed the case. Okay, so let's see what happens here. I'm going to just retreat behind friendly lines for the moment. And let's see how this goes. This is a very long line of archers. As you can see, we have 84 archers at the moment on the fields of battle. Let's see if we can maybe do some long-range damage as well. Oh, look at that. Wow, we actually hit someone? Can't believe it. Well, a couple of poorly timed shots there, but not so bad that we weren't able to get the kill. And there we go. I think that is indeed that. How many did we lose? No, we lost no one. There you go. We lost no one. So we're starting to get a little bit more of a handle on things, about the strategy involved, about the tactics that I need to employ to be able to match the target that I set for the casualties. Because, again, bear in mind, these guys are not that simple to level up, because obviously you have to go through the whole skirmisher phase. If they started at an archer level, once they reached, you know, tier 2 or tier 3, then it wouldn't be that bad. But they obviously go into thrown weapon users, and thrown weapons are a little bit hard to use if they don't have like a critical mass, or they don't have a really significant support structure. Okay, so I'm actually holding Alt right now to see where the enemies are, but I don't see any, which is really, really weird. It seems like they are now all running away. No, she's still alive. Wait a minute. Look at this. She's actually still alive. Where is she, though? That's the reason why we're not getting a retreat. There she is. She's just been standing here. What? Well, there's a headshot for you. Thanks very much for making me go across the entirety of the map, you imbecile. What was she doing there? That was weird. Okay, well, there you go. We did get a very significant amount of renown for that, though, which I very much appreciate, because leveling up my clan is always appreciated. Let's take all the loot that we can, and there we have it. Okay, so how's my clan actually doing, by the way? Ah, look at that. We're almost clan tier 4. Look at that. That's really, really nice. We just need another 50 or so renown, and that's not too bad. And then we should be okay. Well, what I'm actually going to do is I think I'm going to go over to these two places, and I'm probably going to try and get both of our other family members, sister and brother. What? They are sisters and brother? I thought they were niece and nephew. I thought it was Newson's children, but apparently they are actually sister and brother of ours, which is kind of weird. I never thought that that was the case, but apparently it is. Anyway, seems like the Southern Empire is actually fighting back against the Crusade, which I am very pleased to see. And otherwise, we also have the Sturgians currently having some problems with some people up there. Epicrotia is still under control of the rebels in that area too. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.